Loving God, thank you so much for the gift of your word. Let it inspire us and guide us in our life each day. Amen. Amen. Well, I always hear how much fun they're having in the other room each week. And so we need to have a little fun in here. So I made some show and tell for today's sermon. So I've got a rock, and I want to show off my keys, and then I've got this rope here. So these are the three things that we can maybe, like a little show and tell that I've got for y'all. Okay, so about this rock. So first of all, just where I got the rock, the idea was that Jesus says to his friends, but like, who are people saying that I am? Like, who's everybody talking about? What are they saying about me? And I can't say that that's not the last time people have been asking that, like, who is Jesus to you? Who is Christ to you? Where is he for you? All that kind of stuff. And so, but Peter responds very clearly, you're the Son of God. This is the big deal. You're the big deal. I mean, it makes it pretty clear. So it's interesting. Jesus looks at Peter, and when I look at Peter, I see a guy that tells Jesus, or Jesus tells him later that he's a stumbling block, and that he doesn't want to follow the directions about sending the nets out back again into the water. I see a guy that maybe doesn't completely get it, is maybe worried about leaving his family. I see all that. But Jesus saw something amazing. He saw kind of a play on words with his name, that he was a rock. That this was an opportunity for Peter, that he could be the person that could really help build this community of the church, build this ecclesia, this community of people that were willing to follow in the way that Christ was laying out. He saw him as a solid rock. And I think he saw something special in Peter that maybe other people weren't really seeing. And it kind of made him this kind of leader, or a way to be able to say, hey, let's be somebody that we can really make this happen. Well, okay, so I look at my rock here, this rock that I've got. So Jeff and I went on a paddling trip with a good friend of mine. And we stopped at one along the way, and she picked out some rocks that were in the water. And so she was super intentional about the rocks that she picked out. And so she picked this one out. This was one of them. And she painted it and made a little design on it and put a little message for me. It was a really great gift that I treasure. I keep it out on the table all the time. And so I think about this rock, and I think that what she saw in this. I mean, here there's a big chunk out of it. It's not that heavy enough to be a doorstop or really a paperweight. It's not that useful of a rock. Like, it's not that big of a deal to me. But she saw it there and then saw what it could become. Despite the chunk out of it and despite kind of the misshapen element of it, she made it into something beautiful. I think that's such a gift. Be able to look at something and be able to see something beautiful and be able to see something amazing and see things that something that a new creation could rise out of. I mean, think about an artist looking at a blank page of paper and being able to create something beautiful like the artwork we have here today. Or to look at a bunch of material that's just laying around and sew into it something beautiful like a piece of clothing or a beautiful banner or something like that. Think of that amazing gift that an artist has. I think Jesus was quite an artist because he recognized in Peter something amazing that he could paint a beautiful picture on, that he could build something amazing out of and build this new community out of. I think that when I think about this rock and think about what Jesus saw in Peter, I think about maybe our path in life. So many times I know I come across folks in my life, like right now it's the first week of school. And so the first week of school is done, and sometimes when I look at the students and think, good grief, what are you doing? Why are you asking these questions? Or, well, yeah, it's in the syllabus, just read it. That kind of stuff. But then I think I look to what Jesus is doing with Peter here, and I want to be able to say, wow, these are some amazing people that who knows what amazing things can come from them in their future social work career or in their career or whatever it is that they're doing. Or maybe as we come across our life each day and see somebody maybe that's bothering us, or somebody that maybe we've just newly meeting, maybe we can see in them that what Jesus saw in Peter, what my friend James saw in this rock, something beautiful, something amazing, the true handiwork of God that we can really kind of help enhance. So I think our challenge here is to know that we've got this artistry ability inside each one of us. So when we come across people, we come across God's beautiful nature, we come across whatever event and things that might be kind of a stumbling block for us, but rather than seeing it as a stumbling block, maybe we can see it as a beautiful blank slate, a beautiful blank rock that we can be able to make something out of and build a foundation out of God's kingdom in this world in the way that we live with one another. Now, what an amazing gift that we've got in this witness of Jesus, recognizing the specialness of Peter and how we can do that in the same way with our lives. Well, the second thing I was going to use in my little show and tell today is this set of keys that I have. So here, I've got a bunch of keys here. I got the key to my car, which is helpful. I've lost it a million times. And think about the key to the office here at church, the key to church, the key to the door at UT, the key to the other offices at the university there where I work. And so there's all kinds of things. Now here's a really special key. I know my parents' house has been since torn down, as I've been told in previous sermons, but I have this key still to their house. This is quite a thing. I mean, as you can imagine, somebody getting a key to their family's house, whatever. I remember I didn't get it until I was probably like 25, but I was glad to get it when I finally got it. It was a big deal to me to get this key. I also can't help but think about a good friend of mine. She was the superior of her religious community as a Catholic nun, and there were 1,200 sisters, and they had a mother house. It was just the mother house where only some of them lived there. But she made sure everybody in the community, all 1,200 of them, got a key to the house so that they would have a sense of home or a sense of connection. So they all had a key too, and I thought that was a pretty neat thing. Well, think about these keys. I bet all of us here have in our pocket some set of keys to something. And whether it's your car, or to the front door of your house, or whatever it is, that you've got a key to it. Jesus says to Peter here, I'm giving you the keys to the kingdom of heaven. That's a big deal. To have these keys to the kingdom of heaven, I'm giving them to you. And so think about that though. I wonder if in the same way, when Jesus says he's giving the keys to the kingdom of heaven to Peter, he's saying, hey, let's unlock it. Let's find where the kingdom of heaven is. Hey, it's dawning around us. All we've got to do is unlock it and find this kingdom of heaven that's around us. The kingdom of heaven of the community that's being built, the kingdom of heaven in the relationships that people share with one another, the kindness that people have with one another. All we have to do is have a little key to kind of open it and find it. Well, with all the keys that we have in our pockets or whatever, when I use the key to get in my car and drive around, I can drive around and see the kingdom of heaven. I can see the kingdom of heaven and people that are kind of walking alongside the street, or people that are just driving to go to work each day. That's the kingdom of the Lord right here among us. But when I was able to go into my parents' house, there's a family that's there. The kingdom of heaven is alive and well in the family that's there. When I come into church here, of course, that's the most obvious, that we're all here together building this kingdom of heaven, and we have the opportunity to unlock that kingdom in our life, in our sharing, in our singing, in our praying, here together as one voice. When we go to our workplace, when we go in and lock the door and go into our workplace, we're building the kingdom of heaven through the work that we do. Whether our work is in our home of caring for one another, whether our work is caring for people that in an office, whether our work is caring for people in a hospital or healthcare or building somebody, whatever it is, whatever thing that we're doing, we're able to unlock that and build the kingdom of heaven in our way of life together. So maybe today the comfort is to know that we all have the keys to the kingdom of heaven. But the challenge is to be sure to use them. When I'm opening that door, do I see God's kingdom being built, and can I take a role in unveiling God's kingdom as I open different doors in my life? And that we're called to let that kingdom be known as it unfolds before us. Well, the third kind of show and tell that I've got is this rope. Okay, Jesus says by each of the apostles there, you have the ability to please bound what you find bound, bind it. What you find loose, it's loose. Loose in heaven. Loose here, loose in heaven. Bound in heaven, bound here. So he's talking about a binding. So I couldn't help but think about this, the use of a rope in a way. That, okay, if I think about a rope that I've got, and I tie it into sort of like a tight knot, but really bind it up real tight, that's one thing. But then I wonder if we think about, if I've got that bound up rope, is that helpful? What is it? What's it do for me? But then if we think about if the rope is loose, okay, then that feels a little bit freer or something. So we think about the way that we live our life. Sometimes I've made the mistake of really binding on, or really hanging on, to things that I maybe should have let go a long time ago. Jeff teases me like I'll talk about something that when I was in high school, somebody that made me mad or something, and I'm still feeling the same way, and then Jeff will say, I'm glad you're letting go of that. After 40 years ago or whatever, and I'm gonna hang on tight to it. But maybe I should loosen it a little bit, or let go of it, not let it bother me so much. I feel like years of working with folks in different social work settings, I've seen people that have held on to things that have been really traumatic or really damaging or really difficult to them in their life, but have got it hold on so tightly that it's hard to let go of, or maybe it's held on so tightly that they don't want to tell other people about it, or let it out so that maybe you can be free a little bit and get some air in there about that painful thing that you've experienced. Maybe Jesus is calling us to hold a little bit looser. hold things a little bit looser. Just because this happened to me doesn't mean I have to hang on to it, let it define me and be me. Or just because maybe somebody said something mean to me, I don't have to hang on to it and be all tight about it. I can hold on to it loosely. How do I hang on to difficult things like this and hang on loosely and not just let it repeat in my head or hang on to it or drive me crazy? What can I do? How can we hang loosely to things like this? Now, for sure, there are things that we want to hang on tight to, the people we love, our faith, the community that we share here together this morning, we want to hang on tight to it. But then we want to be sure that we're hanging on loose enough so that the community is free to grow and people are free to be who they are and free to love and share the life that we live together. So hopefully, these three little kind of things can be a witness of what we're called to do. At the end of the gospel today, Jesus tells his apostles pretty strongly, don't tell people about this. Do not tell anybody about what you've heard here today. Well, in contrast, I'm sorry, Jesus, but I'm going to say the exact opposite. Let's go tell everybody. Let's go tell everybody that the kingdom of heaven can be found even in a rock. The kingdom of heaven can be unlocked wherever we go, whatever we've got. We've got the keys in our pocket. Let's open the door of God's kingdom and let that justice and faith and love and goodness flow out. And let's not hang on to it so tightly that we're just going to make it in our minutes or make it help, or we make us nervous. Let's hold loosely to this place that we have and this love that we have and these people in our life that we have so that we can all grow and develop and share our love with one another. So that's what I've got to share, a little thing. And I think it was maybe more fun than what they're doing. So, amen.
Amen.